All right, my friends, it's T-Man, and we're back with a video on our good friend Jason Blaha, the strength and fitness, whatever you want to call him, fake dude. Anyway, so we're going to do a reaction video to Jason Blaha's video, broski, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slave himself, Jason Blaha. Blaha says the carnivore diet is rooted in anti-science mindset. There's no such thing as carnivore diet. Christ, I don't understand this guy. There's something mentally wrong with him.
The carnivore diet is rooted in the philosophy that science is bad. Hey, everyone.
Let me get this straight. So what humans eat is a diet, and it's a philosophy, and it's rooted in something bad in science. What? That's like saying dogs, dogs being carnivores, and thus they eat meat. All right. Now I've seen dogs eat other stuff sometimes. Maybe they're really hungry. I don't know. You know what I mean? Is that considered a diet? I guess so. It's not. It's not what they would normally eat as a carnivore, meat. See what I mean? So all humans are carnivores because we all eat meat. Now, anything you eat outside of that is considered a diet. Now, if you eliminate that, then what are you eating? Meat. See what I mean? Is that considered a diet? No.
It's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And for just a quick reminder, though, please remember to click like down below. Please follow or subscribe. And
you know, he does these exercises every day. He's adapted to his exercises. There's no stimulus here. Why would your body need to adapt to doing these pull-ups? Why would it want to? Why would it need to? See what I mean? This is nothing. There's nothing there for it to adapt. There's no damage. There's no damage. There's no adaptation. It's really simple. Look, it's like this, bro. I think people are really stupid out there. There's no damage. There's no growth. Now, if you're trying to get damaged concentrically, good luck with that. Go and try to get rich, working a minimum wage job, maybe in 1,000 years. All right. Whatever.
And I would greatly appreciate it if you would leave a comment under my video. Thank you so much. So let's get.
I would leave a comment under your video. However, you banned me on your channel, so I can't leave you any interesting comments. There's nothing bad I'm going to write you in your comment section, Blaha. You understand me? People make enough bad videos on you.
Over to the topic. And I'm not going to go into any of my personal politics, but one of the things that I think is extremely fascinating.
I love this. His personal politics. When did that ever count?
Is someone who's made a number of videos breaking down the major problems with the carnivore diet, the long-term health problems, the issue.
The long-term health problems, the carnivore diet. Wow. If a human, which is a carnivore, eats just exclusively meat, wow, the health problems and all the problems you're going to get, astronomical things. Well, let me see. Dogs are carnivores, and the moment they eat anything outside what they're supposed to, which you would consider a diet, what happens to dogs? They become fat, obese, they get cancer, they become diabetic. See what I mean? The same with humans. The same with humans. The exact same. It's an example. What would happen to a dog will happen to a human. So once you cut out these so-called diets and you revert back to what you are, a carnivore, all these problems go away. Doctor, every time I move my arm up and down like this repetitively, it hurts. Well, guess what, kids? Stop moving your arm up and down. Oh, okay.
With gut flora extinction and gut flora health problems that will result from eating no fiber, no vegetables.
Gut flora extinction. Well, didn't affect us before. Why would it affect us now? It's not affecting any dogs, this gut flora extinction and all that. See what I mean? It doesn't affect carnivore dogs, so why would it affect carnivore humans?
You know,
or any other carnivore animal for that fact.
Interesting is that all these people always go back to two things. It's like when you discuss research on this stuff from all around the world, they automatically equate it with Rona vaccines. Like I automatically equate it with Rona vaccines. Like I've noticed this over and over and over and over and over. They always pull this, trust the science. Oh, as if you're going to quote science, you sound like somebody who's been triple boosted. I want people to think about that for a moment, that we're going to pretend that this is even remotely related, even remotely.
Isn't that what Blaha's doing? He's pretending. He's eating fake food. He's pretending it's healthy for him, and it's what he's supposed to eat. And he's lifting these weights in the garage. He's pretending to build muscle. See what I mean? Is he not pretending? He's pretending he's building muscle, even though he's adapted to all these movements. He's pretending. He's pretending he's a fitness guy, a fitness guru, and a coach. He's pretending because he doesn't know anything about lifting or what builds muscle. The only thing he knows how to do is inject strength and lift a heavy weight off the floor and drop it. Lift it up and drop it. That's about it.
The same mindset. Whereas if I recall, and I'm not going to discuss this in too much detail, wasn't the entire concept of why people didn't want to take the stuff was the lack of science? Like, isn't that what I remember? I mean, maybe I have a different memory than other people, but these same people were like, I'm not taking it because we don't have scientific evidence of the safety and effectiveness, okay? There's not been enough studies done on it. We haven't had time. It's insufficient development. So people were trying to take a scientific approach. Now these same people are then going to scream that when you quote science, it's been done for 20 years straight, and we do have sufficient scientific evidence. We do know about safety, and we know that not eating fiber is deadly. We know that avoiding all vegetables, antioxidants, having too low of a fiber diet absolutely destroys your gut flora, your gut health, which impacts everything from your immune system. And it's going to take a while. There's a long-term effect. It's extremely negative. Subjecting yourselves to much higher rates of cardiovascular disease, cancers, everything else. That is exactly what's happening. Okay? That is literally what is happening. That is what we have huge amounts of data from all around the world showing at this point. Like, this is well understood. Even the reduction in all-cause mortality scaling with vegetable intake. So it's a really...
What about vegetable intake and all this crap? Man, you ever see these like third world countries on TV, and then these kids are crying in Africa, and what do? They feed them rice. Man, rice is filled with arsenic. It's just sugar. So they feed them rice. How pathetic is that? They're like, their bellies are extended, bloated, they have lack of nutrients, their hair's falling out, their skin is changing color. I mean, they're just suffering from a nutrient deficiency. And what do? Pile them up with rice. And you see them with a bowl eating rice. Like, yeah, that's it. Feed them sugar all day with arsenic in it. That's going to make them better. Isn't that insane?
Strange to me that
the amount of grains they feed to these poor countries, these people, they say, well, they're starving, so might as well feed them grains. Well, yeah, it's enough. It'll sustain you for the short term, but not the long term. And eventually their lives will end. They'll die young because they have a nutrient deficiency in their diet. That's how they get rid of prisoners before in the past. They got rid of these prisoners and used up slaves. They found the slave food diet. It's lack of nutrient. Feeding a prisoner bread and water, eventually he'll die. You understand me? He's not going to last forever.
Have people who will flip this back around. So then now it's just people being anti-science. You know, as if there's some grand conspiracy by big vegetable.
Vegetables are deficient in amino acids and these nutrients, and it's anti-nutrients. So on top of it, not only is it deficient in nutrients and amino acids, boy, fuck man, it is anti-nutrients. So what is the purpose of eating these plants? What is the purpose behind it? Nothing. Marketing, money. It's a business. You understand me? It's a business like any other business. That's all it really is. Making donuts and sweet stuff all day and eating sugar all day, it's a business. It's not based on any kind of health. If they tell you, oh, this is healthy for you, well, explain to me one part that is healthy. What makes it healthy for a carnivore animal like a human? What makes plants healthy for carnivore humans? See what I mean? Animals. What makes it healthy for animals, carnivore animals, bro? It's kind of obvious. Donuts and coffee and fucking pasta, pizza, and apples and vegetables and fruits. They're not healthy for humans. See what I mean? They're actually anti-health. They're anti-healthy. They promote anti-health. That whole pyramid by the government, they promote anti-health. That's what it really is.
To convince everyone to eat fruits and vegetables. But
since when did anybody ever care about your health other than yourself?
You're going to feed vegetables and plants and grains to the animals you're eating anyways.
Yeah, I like that. Well, we're going to feed these grains and plants and things to the animals anyways, right? The animals that we're going to eat anyway, right? Yeah, they're eating the wrong diet, though, these grains. That's why they're suffering. That's why they're getting sick, and they're inoculating them constantly because they're suffering. They're tolerating eating grains, which is not their diet. They're supposed to be eating grass. But like I said, you know, humans, it's just this is the kind of world you live in, man. See? There you go. That's why humans have to take shots, because they eat the same stuff. They tolerate eating these grains. And what do? They got to go to the doctor, get a booster shot. You got to get all these virus shots. You have to get all these shots. Why is that? Ask yourself why that is. Because you're a domesticated human too. Get it? Yeah. You're not a natural human. Natural humans in the wild, they would be healthy. Think about it. What made Europeans so unhealthy when they started farming? Okay, when they came over to the New World and they discovered these so-called indigenous people living in North America, Mexico, whatever, well, they didn't really eat any plants, did they? They ate animal products, right? And there was no disease. Well, why wasn't there any disease? Because they were natural humans. They weren't domesticated. What domesticated humans in Europe and made them sick? Plants. So the plants obviously are the cause of this problem. It's kind of obvious. You'd have to be blind not to fucking understand that. You have to be stupid not to see that. See what I mean? Your observation would not lie. So the colonists, they came over and they spread disease out to the indigenous population. How did they do it? They started getting them to eat these poisonous plants and alcohol and shit. Get it? They fed them these unnatural foods, and they got addicted to them, and that spread disease. They got sick. It's really simple, and a bunch of other things too. And the fact that humans were just sick themselves and passing on disease. There you go. So that just says it all. So are wild animals healthier to eat out in the wild than domesticated? Of course, bro, of course. So we are just a bunch of domesticated humans. We are sick. We're not healthy at all. When people say, "Oh, you're so healthy," but you look healthy. Yeah, but you're not healthy because you're domesticated.
That's the problem with any such conspiracy like that. That's the problem. But the animals are still going to eat the same amount of crops. So anyone who's a farmer producing crops, they make their money whether someone is a vegan or a carnivore, or the other 99% of us who are possibly sane in the middle, in between. We're all going to eat their products too. This is not like...
We're going to eat their products too, but you have a choice. You still have some choices out there. See what I mean? I know that wild, if you buy fish, they're usually wild, the ones that they capture out in the wild. So they're still natural. They're not sick. See what I mean? Stay away from any inoculations by the government. Don't get inoculated. Eat some wild fish. See what I mean? I don't know about the animals that you're eating around here. They're domesticated. I don't know if you can buy a pure grass-fed beef. Is it really pure? Are they lying? Is it true? I don't know. I can't answer that. But definitely fish are caught out in the wild, so they're wild. Now, can you survive on fish alone? I think so, yeah. They have all the essential nutrients, as far as I know. I think beef is a lot higher in nutrient content, right? But it is what it is, man. And you need a lot of omega-3 to keep you healthy. That's why people are suffering from fucking heart attacks and shit.
It's not like...
This is how we stay protected and secure.
It's not like...
Yeah.
It's not like big agriculture has a benefit to this. In fact, let's take it a step further.
Yes,
big agriculture makes more money the more humans exist, no matter what diet they eat.
Of course, it's a business.
The mere fact that every time the population increases, they have more potential for money. Every time people live longer, they have more potential for money. So technically, big agriculture's conspiracy, if they're trying to make money to sell their fruits and vegetables and crops, right?
Yep.
Would be, hey, we need to have as many people living as long as possible on the planet. Would technically be allowing them to make billions and trillions of extra dollars. Like this they make money. So this is stupid. It's really stupid. But back over to the point. The science is overwhelming, and what's interesting is that they don't just do what they pretend. They're like, oh, you're getting steak and eggs. No, I think steak and eggs are phenomenal. I'm a pro cooked food omnivore. I believe we thrive on a whole foods diet consisting of large amounts of plant and animal source proteins. Right? I mean,
no, we don't. That's why the majority of the population is sick and they're becoming feminized. Like Blaha, he's feminine. He's feminized himself. That's why. Because of these so-called healthy foods.
Steak, eggs, brown rice, some sweet potatoes, some avocados in there.
That's gross.
A little broccoli.
That's
some
gross.
Spinach. I think that's perfect.
Gross.
Maybe a little milk in there too, some dairy, because I'm big on dairy. You know, I think that's perfect. Throw some fruits and throw some
Well, at least he eats dairy. Yeah. Forget about the plants, man.
Cantaloupe and kiwis in it, man.
Yeah, eat those kiwis, feminize yourself even more, Blaha.
Now we're talking. Sure. This is health.
That's health.
Okay?
Look around.
They get upset with that.
Look around. I'm old school, bro. I've never seen so many feminized men out there like there are today.
I don't know. I'm just a dude who lost 150 pounds when younger and has elite lifts at age 48. And is in amazing health at age 48 and, you know, deadlifts 600 pounds and squats 500 and all that while being 48 years old. I don't know who's fit and healthy and coaches people for a living. You know what my vested interest is? Getting people strong, jacked, and fit. That's my conspiracy.
Yeah, how's that working exactly? It doesn't seem to be working very well.
And I think we do that with whole foods. And we need fiber, we need plants, and we need animal source protein. And I think we need a lot of both.
We don't need fiber. I don't see people eating cotton t-shirts.
You really want to reach that peak level, you need both.
Yeah, if you really want to reach that peak level of feminization, eat those plants that Blaha recommends, and you'll be just as feminized as him. Look at the latest video I popped up in my community section about him. He's talking about, I don't know, doing things with guys.
All right, and I think that's pretty well shown in the data. Pretty well shown in the data and in the anecdote. Sure. But they push this nonsense, and again, they act.
Did you know that concentric exercises feminize you? Yeah, I'm not joking. Lifting concentrically feminizes you. I'm not joking, man. That's true. You want to know which exercise masculinizes you? Eccentric exercise, it masculinizes men. Yeah. I'm dead serious, bro. Concentric exercises feminize men. That's what it was meant for. That's why the government has everybody in gyms lifting concentrically. They don't want you to know about eccentric exercises because they know it masculinizes you. They don't want you to become masculine. They want to feminize you. That's the whole point. That's why you're going to have low testosterone levels all the time. Get it? Me, I'm just working towards having all my testosterone levels fucking through the roof. I just eat the best food as raw, most of it as raw as possible. Lots of fats, healthy fats, lots of butter, grass-fed, bro. And I'm telling you, man, my fucking test levels are through the roof. I feel amazing when I wake up in the morning. Bro, I'm just ready to go, man. I just feel so good all the time, man. I feel masculinized. But if I eat these plants and shit, I automatically, immediately feel feminized. No, so your experience will tell you, eat these plants and these fruits, and guess what happens? And candies and shit and all that, and the fake food, pizza and all that. What it does is it feminizes you. And there's a lot of feminine men out there. They're aggressive. They're aggressive because they've been feminized, and that's what causes more aggression in them. People with high testosterone are not aggressive. They're very calculated. They're very, how should I put it? They're very relaxed. They're very relaxed. And you're masculine. That's the reason, because you're masculinizing yourself instead of feminizing yourself like Blaha. He's feminizing himself, lifting concentrically here.
Like it's that.
And eating feminizing foods.
But then they eat garbage. And so it's essentially...
Kind of look at his face. Look at his face and his head. Does it look masculine to you? Look at his body. Does it look masculine to you?
They go out of their way to take every animal source food that has been found with large amounts of research to actually be the worst ones, and then to force feed them, right? Because they don't just do steak and eggs. They just steak, eggs, and avocados and one of the lower carb.
They just do steak and eggs and avocados, and they say, man, this whole steak and eggs, bro. It's steak and eggs, yes, it's really good, yes. I wouldn't eat, yeah, eggs are good. The eggs are okay.
Approach, it wouldn't be so bad if they had the avocado. You know, it's, hey, let's eat butter. You look at the research on what happens when we eat butter compared to whole milk, it's garbage. Even the...
Holy shit, man. I gotta tell you the truth. Ever since I started, I just started using butter. Because I just didn't want to eat butter on its own, right? So I decided to kind of cook my eggs a little bit, right? And I would put in a lot of butter. And I swear to God, bro, my voice, my hormones, it's fucking really deep. So it's like, it's really high. So it must be because I needed more fat in my diet. And fat is very important for building muscle. If you do not get enough fat in your diet, you're not going to build muscle. I'm telling you. I'm not joking, man. So when people say protein is definitely important, but fat is vitally just as important as eating protein. See what I mean? So with all these people telling you, well, you need 200, 300 grams of protein a day to build muscle. No, when you're damaged, you need a lot of protein. But when you're damaged, you need a lot of fat too. You need a lot of animal fat. And one way to get it is butter. You understand me? It's convenient. It's a convenient way of getting fat. That's all it really is. It's churned fat from a dairy product, okay?
Grass-fed butter, the blood work is horrific. And yes, LDL is absolutely the cause of atherosclerosis, LDL-C being too...
He's lying, because I'm not getting any of those things, all right? If anything, I noticed, like I said, eating more butter, and I can mix it with anything. If I was to... I have a wok. I just put everything in the wok. So whether I put salmon in there or some whatever eggs, I make it with some eggs, 2 eggs or 3 eggs. Put a lot of butter and just eat it. I'm telling you, bro, your hormones they're gonna thank you. Your body's gonna thank you. Your hormones are gonna be high. You're gonna feel so much better, so much stronger.
Elevated. Number one cause. This has been pretty well proven at this point. And with good solid data,
Hell, I think you should eat a couple of pieces of butter before you go to the gym and after you come back from the gym. It's going to be amazing, bro. Boom. You're going to get one of those. Bang, bro. It'll masculinize you. And unlike Blaha, he said he runs away from everything that masculinizes him because he promotes feminizing people. You don't understand. This is an anti-channel, anti-masculinization channel you're watching here called Blaha. He wants you to be feminized. He's trying to feminize all you. You eat tofu and all that. That's why he shows you his basket. If you look at his food basket, what he eats, and you look at what I eat, look at what I eat. Masculine food. What does Blaha eat? Tofu. Popcorn, tofu, pasta, sauces, and hot dogs, and I don't know, some kind of weird shit in there. But whatever. The point is, it's all feminizing, and his exercises are feminizing. They're concentric exercises. Look at these things, what he's doing. Come on, man. It's kind of obvious on the face of it. Eccentric exercise is for real men. That's what eccentric exercises are for real men, not the wusses out there, whatever. You understand me? Not the little wusses that, oh, I got some pain, I got some DOMS. Oh my God, it's gonna take me a while to recover from this. Oh, boo-hoo, and all that. Oh, this is too much work. You mean I have to go so heavy and overload, and I have to get this damage, and I'm damaging my muscles. Oh my God, that's too much for me. I have to lift concentrically. You understand me? How dare I get some pain or something? Oh man, give me a fucking break. Whatever.
The beta. So again, ridiculousness. Ridiculous.
You see, eccentric exercise is associated with pain. No pain, no gain. What's concentric exercise associated with? Nada. A feminizing. A nothing. Nothing.
They eat butter, they'll eat bacon. It's like, let's just eat tons of bacon.
Oh, they'll eat butter, they'll eat bacon. Yeah, lots of more fat. You need more fat in your diet. Animal fat.
Because processed red meats full of nitrates.
Processed red meats are full of nitrates. Well, don't eat any processed red meats, get it? And it won't feminize you. With that nitrates, which are from what? Plants. That's not natural to meat.
And it's not because it's the red meat. I don't think you have data to show this with a steak.
Whatever.
Right, so let's come back over what does science actually show.
Yeah, what does the science actually
not
show?
so much. Especially if you eat enough vegetables to counteract the steroic acid.
Yeah.
It's fine. Perfectly fine.
Steroic acid? You have acid in your stomach to dissolve meat. That's hydrochloric acid in your stomach, bro. I know what he's talking about. You want to neutralize it? Drink orange juice and it'll neutralize it.
Bacon, though, once you add all those nitrates in the sausage, absolutely. Extremely heavily linked with colon cancer and other problems. Right?
Yeah, well, just don't eat any nitrates, okay?
Be realistic about it, guys.
Sure, be realistic, guys.
And this is all processed garbage.
Yeah.
It's all processed garbage, and they're just pretending they're eating some whole foods diet. Yeah, because bacon and butter are whole.
Like I said, man, there's a lot of people that live concentrically. They live exclusively concentrically, and guess what? I notice they're feminized. I look at them, I listen to them speak when they talk, the way they walk, the way they look. They've been feminized. They just don't know it. They think, well, I live concentrically, I must be really strong. Well, yeah, the nervous system, something, whatever going on there. But guess what? You don't know. It's a conspiracy by the government because it's not associated with any damage or any real growth or anything going on there. You understand me? Eccentric exercise, now that's taxing, bro, because you got to go really heavy. Eccentric overloading, bro. On that muscle, you could go 140% heavier. So you're actually going heavier. So that must be, see, if lifting heavy is associated with high testosterone, HGH, and all that, well, guess what? Which direction would it be in? Eccentrically, because you can handle heavier loads in the eccentric, 140%. You could never handle that heavy going concentrically, so it must be superior in every way. Get it? It's superior when it comes to your hormones increasing, because that's number one I noticed. The more I do eccentric overload training and I eat more healthy fats and stuff, man, my testosterone is through the roof, bro. But lifting concentrically, never really goes through the roof, kind of feminizes you. You have small testicles and a bunch of stuff. Because if that was true, if concentric exercise could increase hormones and testicular size and all of that, well, guess what? all of you guys would be fucking masculinized. But you're all complaining that you're suffering from low testosterone. So how are people going to the gym lifting fucking concentrically? How they're supposed to be getting high testosterone, right? Why are their balls shrinking? Why are they suffering from low testosterone? Because concentric exercise raises and crashes it. That's what happens. Raise and crash. So it feminizes you. That's what happens over time. And then you're eating the slave food diet, carbohydrates, that increases estrogen. These simple carbs increase estrogen and a bunch of stuff. So you're actually going to the gym to try to feminize yourself? That's crazy, bro. Get it? That's crazy, bro. You understand me how crazy people are out there? They're so crazy, bro. But eccentric exercise and eating animal products and healthy fats, animal fats, man, that's going to masculinize the fuck out of you, man. So if you're looking to masculinize yourself, then you definitely want to do eccentric exercise. But hey, if you want to feminize yourself, just keep lifting concentrically and eat the slave food diet. And guess what? You'll get exactly what you're looking for.
Get out of here.
I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Do not feminize yourself. Do not fall for that trick.